Hey folks, welcome back to the You Want Pizzazz channel. Today we've got 5 easy creative effects in Premiere Pro. You're going to be learning how to use light leaks, speed ramps, the bleep out censor effect, the Photoshoot montage effect, and the rewind effect. I've split up the video into chapters, so please use the timecodes in the description below accordingly. We're going to start off by downloading a preset package. I got mine from Motion Array. I'm going to leave the link down in the description below. So once you have downloaded the light leaks, you can just drag them right into your project. Okay, I'm just going to put them in their own folder. So we have 10 free light leaks that you can use on your videos. Super cool. And I also imported some footage earlier that I'm going to be using. I'm going for a beachy effect. As you can see here, I think light leaks would look really good on this footage. We're going to start off by going into the light leaks folder. And you're just going to drag one of them onto the timeline. I'm just going to pick randomly. Alright. And it's going to look like this. Now the next step is to actually overlay them onto your footage. So click the layer, go into the effects panel, and click Screen under blend mode. So now you can see the light leaks overlaying on top of the footage. Pretty cool. So we're going to play with opacity and placement later, but let's start with finding a light leak that we're happy with. Let's just go through the different ones. What I like to do is just select one of the light leaks, hold down Option on the keyboard, and just drag it right onto the clip. And it'll just replace it. Makes it really easy to kind of switch between different light leaks. So I don't really like this one because I think it's kind of too in your face. So let's just try something else. Alright, light leak 7 is pretty nice. Try light leak 1. You know what, I'm going to go back to light leak 7. Option, drag right onto the timeline. And I'm going to add one at the end here from my last clip. So I'll just go with light leak 1. Have a little overlaying action here. Again, select the clip. Make sure that is on screen mode. You can play with the different modes as well. You know, overlay, hard light, soft light, whatever you fancy. But I like to go with screen. I find that it always looks the best. So let's see how this looks so far. Okay, great. So the next thing I'm going to worry about is placement. Now, I'm okay with the first clip going over the whole screen, but for the second clip, I just want to have it on a certain portion of the screen. What I'm going to do is select the layer, go into my effects panel, search for crop, and drag that right onto the clip. Now that I've applied the crop layer, I'm going to scale the clip, and I'm going to put the leak on the right side of my screen. Now, it's on the right side, but you can see that it doesn't really blend that well. And that's what the crop layer is going to be for. So what I'm going to do is that now that I've applied the crop layer, I'm going to bring the left side out a little bit, and then I'm going to feather it out. This will allow you to blend it right in. The more left you go, the more you can kind of blend it. I'm going to try to blend it as much as I can so it's seamless. So let's see how it looks now. So now you can see that it is just on the right side of the screen. And you can kind of play with placement and use the crop layer to kind of feather out the edges. Makes it look a lot better. Now, these light leaks look good and I'm happy with the placement, but now let's just focus on changing the opacity. It's a little too bright and in your face right now, so I'm just going to turn it down a bit. See how 65 looks like. Alright, I'm happy with that, and then we'll turn this one down as well. 65. So this is what it looks like right now. So I'm perfectly happy with this look. You can do this with pretty much any light leak package or clip. You just drag it on the timeline, change the blend mode to screen, and then you can just play around with the opacity and the placement. Speed ramps can help add excitement to your footage. And it's really simple to do, no plugins needed, so let's get started. Open up your Premiere Pro and drag and drop the footage that you want to use. If you want to use the exact footage I'm using in this video, please check out the link below, you can download it there. We have 3 clips on our timeline. We have a skyline sunset, a beach shot, and a winter forest scene. The first thing you want to do is right click one of the clips, go to Show Clip Keyframes, Time Remapping, and Speed. And you want to do this for all the clips. By doing this, you're activating the keyframes for speed. So now, we're going to start on the first clip. We're going to zoom in a little bit so we can focus on it. This is what we got. So, for this first clip, as you saw in the preview, we are going to start off fast and then slow down. So, I'm going to find a point where I'm happy slowing down. I think here is good. So, I'm going to make a keyframe here. So now, click this bar here and you can raise it up. I'm going to raise it around 700% faster because the bigger the difference, the more drastic and dramatic the speed ramp looks. Okay, let's try this. So let's see what that looks like. It starts off fast. I'm going to make this a little faster actually. Maybe around 770. I'm happy with that transition, but to make it smoother, you can adjust this here. Cool. I am happy with that. And I'm just going to trim the clip. Okay, I'm happy with it ending here. And then just starting a little earlier. Okay, cool. I'm happy with that. Now let's move on to the next clip. So as you saw in the preview, we have it start up fast, slow down, and go fast again. So again, I'm going to find the point where I want it to be slow. Around here. And then the point where it's going to speed up again. Again, we only need a little bit of slowness here, and we can adjust this later. To match the speed that we had before, let's make this run 750 as well. Okay, 755. Let's match that speed here. Oop, it's a little too high. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Nice, that looks really cool. So again, I'm going to trim the edges that I don't need. So I'm going to make this a little shorter here. I'm actually going to adjust this here. I'm going to move this back this way a bit. So right now this is what it looks like. So it starts from here. Okay. And we're just going to work on our last clip now. We're going to do the same thing that we did at the beginning. We're going to start off fast and we're going to slow down. Again, I'm going to find the point where I want it to slow down. I think just when this car is appearing at the end here, I'm going to click this. I'm going to make this part faster. Again, we're going to keep the same speed of 750, 755. Okay. I'm going to make this transition a little better. Again, I'm going to make this shorter. Nice. I am happy with that. I'm just going to add some dips to white in between. And there you have it. You just learned how to use speed ramps. For this video, I used footage with the frame rate of 24 frames per second and 30 frames per second,
But if you shoot in a higher frame rate, you have a lot more room to play with it. You can actually slow it down even more. You can show the drastic change between really fast and really slow.
I have this clip from the History of Swear Words trailer. This is what it sounds like now.
I'm Nicolas Cage. Let's get fucked.
Okay, so we are going to bleep out the F word here. So the first thing I'm going to do is delete the audio where the F word is said.
Let's get fucked.
So right here, I'm going to lock my video clip, and I'm going to make a cut here, Command K.
Fuck.
Make another cut, Command K, and I'm going to delete this.
Let's get
Okay, so we deleted the F word. Now let's add in that beep. Go ahead and check out our description down below for the beep sound. You can download it there. And I'm just going to drag it onto audio layer 2. Zoom in a bit, and I'm going to just have it cover just that section that I've taken out here. Let's take a listen.
Let's get
Okay, that sounds pretty good. I'm going to make a few adjustments here. I'm going to add constant powers to the edges here. And this is optional. It's just to avoid any unnecessary audio pops. And we're going to bring down the volume of the beep sound. It's a bit too loud. I'm going to make it -8.
Let's get
Okay, now for some of you, you may want to stop here. You just want to bleep out the audio, you're happy, you're good to go. Make sure to leave a like on the way out. But for those who want to go the extra mile, I'm going to add a censor square on top of his mouth here. This is really easy to do. I'm going to take the text tool here, and I'm going to click on the screen. And as you see, it makes a layer here. And I'm going to type in these symbols. Now, if I open up the settings in the effect controls, there's a few things you want to check off. You want to make sure the background is checked off under the text. We want the opacity to be at 100. We want the background color to be a pure black. And you can increase or decrease the size of the square right here. Once you're happy with how that looks, we can actually just adjust the size here. I'm going to adjust the scale, bring it down a bit to about here. Let's move it right on top of his mouth here. And we're going to track it to his mouth. Let's set our first keyframe. We'll move it across and we'll move it up. Move it across. Make sure it's still on that mouth there. And we're just going to make a cut right here. Command K, delete. And you can see that we just made a quick tracking job where it follows his mouth. Doesn't have to be perfect. I think it works for the effect that we're going for here. Now let's watch it.
I'm Nicolas Cage. Let's get
And that's about it, folks. So we're in Premiere Pro. If we go into my assets folder here, you'll see I have 3 images. I'm going to go ahead and drag one of the images into the timeline. I'm going to right click, change the speed and duration to 2 seconds. I'm going to drag it up a layer. I'm going to right click in the project bin, click new item, color matte, because we're going to put a white matte underneath this picture. Drag it to here to make it a white, press OK. I'm going to drag the white matte onto the timeline here. I'm going to make sure that it fits the exact length of the photo. Now, on the photo itself, make sure it is selected. Go into Effect Controls, and we're going to just scale it down to 97 so you can see that white border around the photo. Go ahead and play around with this border. You can make it bigger or smaller, whatever floats your boat. Now I want you to repeat this step for all 3 photos, or however many photos you have. Okay, so we now have 3 sequences of different photos with the white border. Perfect. Now, if you haven't already, go ahead and create a sequence. I made mine 1920 by 1080. And we're gonna just drag the pictures onto the timeline. So I'm gonna just select, hold down Shift to select all of them. I'm gonna drag them all on, just like this. Just click Keep Existing Settings, that's fine. Now I'm going to just adjust the size so that it fits the frame. So I can do that by highlighting these pictures, right-clicking, and hitting Scale to Frame Size. I'm gonna delete the audio because it's just not needed. So we have 3 photos on the timeline. We're gonna add some movement. So starting with the first photo, make sure it is selected. And under Effect Controls, change the scale to 93. Set a keyframe. Change the rotation to 4. Set a keyframe. Move the playhead a little bit across. And we're going to set some more keyframes. We're going to change the scale to 95. And we're going to change the rotation to 3. And then we're going to drag these keyframes to the end. So let's take a look. So you can see it has that subtle movement here. Now moving on to the second one, we're going to do something very similar. Make sure that the second picture is selected. Change the scale to 93. Make a keyframe. We're going to go in opposite direction, so instead of 4, we're going to go -4. Make a keyframe. Move the playhead across. Change that to 95. Change that to -3. Drag these keyframes to the end. So you can see that goes the opposite direction. So for this last picture, I want pick 3 to be doing the exact same thing as pick 1, so I can actually copy these keyframes. So if I select pick 1, and I hit Command-C, and then I select pick 3, right-click, paste attributes, we want to make sure all of these are selected, and then we press OK. Then all the keyframes that were on pick 1 will be transferred to pick 3. Okay, this is what it looks like so far. So what's missing? The camera flashes and the camera sound. Let's do that now. So under the effects, we're gonna search for dip to white. And we're gonna drag this at the beginning, in the middle, right here. So drag them at the beginning of each picture. And then we're gonna adjust the length, and we can do that by just double clicking the transition. And we're gonna make them all like this. And I'm just gonna copy this and then just paste it onto all of them. Last thing, remember that sound effect you downloaded? We're just gonna go ahead and drag that on to the timeline on the audio layer. So just drag it right here, drag it again here, drag it one more time here. And if I remember correctly, the sound is rather loud, so I'm just gonna highlight it, right click, and change the audio gain to -10. Now let's give it a watch. Before starting this tutorial, make sure to download the assets, which you can find in the description below. I sourced this video from pexels.com. It's just a guy kicking a soccer ball. And I'm just gonna apply the rewind effect to this video. So I'm gonna start by marking an in point and an out point in the source monitor. I'm gonna mark an in point here by clicking I on the keyboard. Gonna move it down till about here. Mark an out point with an O. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and drag it onto the timeline. Now I'm going to duplicate this video, and you can do that by holding down Option on your keyboard and then just dragging this video across. I'm gonna right click the clip, click speed and duration, and we're gonna reverse the speed. Press OK. So now the clip should reverse. Okay, I'm gonna have it stop at about here. I'm gonna make a cut by hitting Command K on the keyboard and deleting this extra clip. I'm gonna duplicate this clip. Again, Option drag. I'm gonna right click, speed and duration, and I'm gonna uncheck the reverse speed. For this middle clip here, I'm going to right click, we're gonna adjust the speed and duration again, and we're gonna make the speed 300%. Press OK. We're gonna close this gap by clicking the space and hitting delete. Now you can see that it gets really fast as it's rewinding. So it kind of has that boomerang effect here. Okay, so let's jazz it up a bit. We're gonna go and double click that TV noise glitch effect. So it comes up in your source monitor. We're gonna pick a part that we like. Around here is nice. I'm gonna hit I again to mark an in point, and O to mark an out point, and I'm just gonna drag it on. Make sure that it goes across the entire length of that middle clip here. We're going to right click, scale to frame size so that it covers the entire clip, and then we're going to mess with the blending mode, which you can find in the effect controls. And we're going to just change the blending mode to, let's try screen. Okay, that's pretty good. You can adjust the opacity if you want. I think I'm going to stick with 100 though. And now let's take that rewind image. Again, drag that onto the sequence. Make sure that it spans the entire length of the clip. So we have that little rewind symbol. We're just gonna shrink it to around 60. And then we're gonna position it so it's on the top left corner here. Now we're gonna add that rewind sound effect. We're gonna double click it so it shows up in the source monitor. We're gonna listen for a part that we like. Okay, let's go around here. Again, we're gonna mark an in point and out point. We're gonna drag it on, and instead of hitting the video, we're gonna drag the audio only. We're going to make it the size of the clip. And we're just gonna bump up the volume to about 15. I'm gonna add a constant power to the beginning and end of this audio sequence, and I can just search that up in effects. Drag that on here. And that's pretty much it. Let's take a look. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe to the You Want Pizzazz channel for more videos. Have a great rest of your day.